up for that call at what time?
12:10.
That's right here, correct?
Yes, sir.
When you made your inquiry, that was at what time, sir?
21.
That was 11 minutes later, correct?
Yes.
During that time, you still were en route, correct?
Yes.
You didn't arrive there until 12:25, correct?
Yes.
That's 4 minutes later, right?
Yes.
And this is the time that you were sitting there at 12:25 going over the computer trying to get the map, right?
Yes.
That started at 12:25 is what you told us, right?
Well, I had tried to pull it up before that, but as I pulled in, I was sitting there waiting for the map to open.
You were actually accessing the computer prior to 12:25 trying to get the map to this trailer park, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you made the inquiry at 12:21 as you were driving, correct?
Yes.
And you're obviously paying attention to the traffic, right?
Yes.
And you're watching for pedestrians, that sort of thing, right?
Yes.
And at the same time, your hands are on the CAD, which is the computer-aided dispatch, right?
It's actually the MDT, or MD, the current ones are MDCs, they're mobile data computers.
And so you're accessing that, correct?
Yes.
That requires you to look over to both the keyboard and also to the screen, right?
Yes.
And you're doing this as you're driving, right?
Yes.
And you also told us that there were many screens that you had to go through, right?
Yes.
For example, this one has somebody named Daniel Rodriguez, right?
Yes.
And this other one has another individual, Daniel Rodriguez Gonzalez. You see that?
Yes.
And from all of those, you have to, as you're driving along, look at this one, right?
Yes.
And what you're telling us is that even though you're driving, even though you're having trouble accessing the computer to get the map, you're able to look at that one, right? That's the one that you were able to look at amongst all the others, right?
I looked at all of them.
You looked at all of them. Well, how many were there?
I don't recall specifically. I paged through all of the responses that I had.
And all of the responses included this one up here, right?
Yes.
How long did it take you to look at those?
I don't know.
It must have been less than 4 minutes, right?
Yes.
When did you stop looking at them?
When I had the map open.
Then that would have meant that you started to look at the map prior to getting to this trailer park, right?
I started opening the mapping system before I got to the trailer park, yes.
Right. So that would mean that from the time that you made the inquiry, it's not automatic that they send this to you immediately, is it?
The response times vary. Some days it's super slow, and sometimes you get them right away.
It could take almost as much as 2 or 3 minutes for them to respond, even longer, right?
Actually, sometimes it can take an entire shift if you...
Right.
Yes.
Right. So we don't know how much the lag time was for the response here, do we?
No.
The other thing, sir, is that you said that you don't necessarily check for the cover, for the position of the cover, right?
Correct.
The way you describe it, sir, you never ever even looked to see if the cover's there, right?
Well, he was there when we were leaving the trailer.
I understand that, but in terms of the way you describe the killing, you don't even worry about where the cover is. You weren't looking for him, is what you said, right?
When I described the shooting?
Right.
I wasn't looking for I was focused on the suspect.
And from the time that you started the door, when you got to the door, the second time, you didn't know where he was either, right?
I did not.
Throughout this whole killing, the only time that you knew where Officer Virgilio was, according to you, was during the incident involving the OC spray, right?
Once we had made contact at the door, that's the only time. As a matter of fact...
So is that, yes, that's the only time that you saw it, right?
Yes. Yes.
And nothing would have prevented you from saying, hey, or screaming out a name or anything like that. It would have,
No.
right? You could have done that, right?
I could have called out to him.
And you would have known where he was if he would have responded, right?
Yes.
You also indicated that it is a crime to resist arrest, correct?
Yes.
In this case, you were attempting to arrest him, right?
I was attempting to detain him.
That's different than arresting, isn't it?
It was.
Because detaining means you're just investigating the person, right?
Yes.
In this case, there was no reason, or you didn't know of any reason to arrest him yet, right?
Actually, once I put hands on and tried to escort him out, when he jerked away and smacked my hand, that is, by definition, an aggravated assault.
Right. And even by law, even if you're in the wrong, that's by definition, you can arrest him at that point, right?
I was in the wrong, and yes.
But even if you're wrong, sir, the law says you can arrest him at that point, right?
Yes.
The law doesn't say you can kill him, right?
Do you have any follow-up questions?
The law doesn't say that if you fail to comply with the police command, that you can assault a police officer, does it?
No.
Can you go ahead and turn that to this? Barbara, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to show you what's been marked as 383 and already admitted into evidence. You recall the question about whether or not... Nothing. Yeah, turn off. Sorry, Judge, we don't have the other picture right now. So. Okay, can we update it, see if I got it. There we go. All right, take a look at this. This is Exhibit 383. You were asked questions about the end of the couch and the coffee table.
Yes, sir.
The coffee table doesn't come clear to the end of the couch, does it?
No, it does not.
And if you look up at that exhibit up there, there's enough room. Oh, well, wait a minute. What are the white things on the floor? Try the clear one. One's to the left, bottom left corner.
That's a shirt. That's a suspect's shirt.
And right here, there's space for an individual to walk or fall.
Yes.
And this cushion here is the end of the couch the suspect fell on.
Yes.
Thank you. You can turn that off. Have you ever been on a call where you had to yell out for your cover officer to come and help you?
Objection relevance.
You can answer.
No, sir.
And this is just, do you recall, does CAD stand for Computer Aided Dispatch?
Yes.
You answered some questions about tunnel vision. You said that they did discuss it at the academy?
Yes, sir.
And they've talked about it in trainings you've had?
Yes.
But you also mentioned this was your first such incident.
My first shooting?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Would you agree that it's kind of like trying to describe a sunset?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes.
You can talk about it all you want, but until you experience it.
There's
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Were you prepared for exactly how your vision was going to narrow in these circumstances?
Did you handle this situation to the best of your ability?
Objection beyond the scope. Well, thank you, Judge.
We do have another juror question. Counsel, please approach. Yes. Oh, 49. You trained for tunnel vision, or you trained on sight pictures with regard to friendly fire endangerment?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
When you were training for tunnel vision, were you trained on sight picture with regard to friendly fire endangerment?
I don't specifically recall that. You are trained to focus on your sight picture. So I don't specifically recall the part about friendly fire endangerment.
While you were engaged in this with Mr. Rodriguez, do you remember if you used any of the techniques that you were trained for to reduce tunnel vision?
The breathing, yes, the breathing is something that just automatically came natural. I do remember trying to go in 2-3, out 2-3, in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Your questions, lead to any others? Mr. Martinez.
You indicated that as this was going on, you focused on your breathing at some point, correct?
Yes, I do recall that.
And even though the incident was so hectic, you still had the composure to engage in these breathing exercises as you've described, correct?
Yes.
I don't have anything else.
Began any follow-up?
Because that's what you were trained to do.
Yes.
I don't have anything else, Judge. Thank you.
May Mr. Chrisman step down? Mr. Gann?
Yes.
Any objection, Mr. Martinez?
No.
Mr. Chrisman, you step down.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take the afternoon break at this time. Please remember the admonition, keep an open mind, don't discuss the case. We'll see everybody at 3:10. Jurors are excused.